I remember seeing this when I was a kid in the summer of 1989 on NBC. Really enjoying it and really wanting more because that's how it ended. It ended with you wanting more. It was the setup for a proposed TV series which never happened. So now we're stuck with this TV movie and a lot of what ifs. The Gifted One starts out in 1965 where a couple is driving to the hospital because the wife's about to give birth. When she's there at the hospital, she is told that her baby's very sick and may not live through the night. But surprisingly, the baby survives. And when they take the baby home, they discover something's very unique about this kid. And then it cuts to years later when he's a grown man, played by Peter Kowalko, and the young man's name is Michael Grant. He's taken to the facility run by Broadman, played by John Rhys Davies. And while he's there, we get a series of flashbacks of his childhood in the 70s, and Brandon Cole plays young Michael Grant. And as the movie goes on, he struggles to find why he is so special. He has all these unique abilities. He can harness his body's energy and can make him do anything. He can heal people's wounds. He can fix electrical stuff. He has great strength when he calls upon it. He can also read people's minds. Now, this is not like he can just hear their thoughts. He feels what they're thinking. Almost like a Vulcan mind meld, except he doesn't have to touch their head. And when he touches people on the hand, he can feel what's going through their body system. Yeah, there's obviously no limitations to what this energy can do. I really did enjoy this movie. I really did. Of course, I was a kid, and it ended with me wanting more. But that's not probably didn't. It was never going to happen. I love the flashback scenes. I mean, kind of gives you a good Wonder Years like feel to the movie. I'd also like the idea that we also see in the flashback scenes that being different can also be a blessing and a curse. It plays those moments real well. Peter Kowalko is pretty effective in the role as Michael Grant. He manages to avoid being too cookie cutter teen idol sort of thing. His acting is pretty effective. You get to feel that wheels are turning in the character's head. Of course, Peter Kowalko later he quit acting. He is now a prepaid legal in Utah, happily married with a son. Brandon Cole is pretty good as young Michael in the flashback scenes. You probably know Brandon Cole later went to find success on TV Step by Step. John Rhys Davies as Boardman is pretty decent in his role as the scientist who wants to, him and his team of scientists want to use Michael for their own purposes. He's not very villainous in the role, but because it's just this one TV movie didn't give him much to go on. I'm sure if this gone to a TV show, it probably would have more to go on. Had this gone to series, it would probably have this format. Michael would have been going from town to town, using his abilities to help people and stop the bad guys of the week. But unfortunately that didn't happen, and like I said, we're faced with a lot of what ifs. Would this have been a successful TV show? I don't know. Maybe it would have, or would it have suffered from an already seen it syndrome? You know, you've seen this format so many times: The Fugitive, Kung Fu, and The Incredible Hulk. But we'll never know. But I gotta say, I liked this TV movie when I was a kid. It ended with me wanting more, but more is not what we're gonna get. And this premise has been sort of recycled before, again and again, after this movie. Like, you remember the show Roswell and Kyle XY? Yeah, they're all similar formats. But for some out there, if you're looking for a TV movie that doesn't deal with domestic abuse, drug, or alcohol related, I'd say see The Gifted One. Check this out. It's a good way to pass the time. So I give The Gifted One a 10 out of 10. And it's a sad day. Note that famed comedic actor Gene Wilder has passed away at the age of 83 due to Alzheimer's. He was very funny with his comedic-like reactions, and he made anything watchable, even if the film is terrible. But his teaming with Mel Brooks in Blazing Saddles and Young Frankenstein and The Producers are all memorable. Also, his teaming with Richard Pryor. My favorite one out of all of them was See No Evil, Hear No Evil. Although my second favorite was Silver Streak. Can't really say much about Stir Crazy, but nonetheless, Gene Wilder was a talented man, best known as the original Willy Wonka. He will be missed. He's forever a comedy legend. R.I.P. Gene Wilder.